This may look strange as an introduction, but hopefully interesting too, because this was the best vacation that we've ever been on. We've never really gone on a long vacation to see different things, and we actually went to 8 different cities. The main purpose was to end up in Dallas for my class reunion. We started off in Chicago, stayed at the Silversmith Hotel right downtown. And of course, a lot of these expensive hotels don't even offer breakfast, so we had to go out to eat in the mornings, and there's Donna on Michigan Avenue. We had a really wonderful trip in Chicago. We had a tour of the Al. You get off at the different platforms, and the gentleman explained everything, and it was so easy to hear because he had special mic systems for all of us. We got to see all the big buildings in the different areas, especially of downtown and the history. Really interesting. And we also went to a pre-Broadway show, Amazing Grace, that evening, which was really, really good. And there's a good view of downtown, the Trump building. I think that's one of the newer ones that was built. So then we went to Indianapolis. We actually went to that show right there, and these 2 people were fabulous. They had a terrific, intimate show. It was really amazing. We saw a lot of good stuff. Then we ended up in St. Louis, and here's Donna at the Cardinal Nation, the restaurant that is right next to the stadium, and you can look right into the stadium itself. And there's Donna out on the street outside the stadium. Really a good place. And then inside there was that, if you've seen on TV, that big screen TV in the bar next door to the Cardinal Nation. Able to walk in there and look at everything. And of course we went to see the Arch. Nice, bright, sunnier day. Each day as we went from city to city, we were getting warmer and warmer. And there's some good views of the Arch that I was able to get. And that evening, we, in the early, around 5 o'clock, I guess, we went to church at the cathedral in St. Louis. Really nice mass that was said there. And then we ended up at the symphony. There's Donna talking to one of the ushers, and we saw the orchestra, and they put on a really good show. There was the flute player had a solo, which lasted pretty long, which was really, really good. But the main attraction was Lang Lang, the international famous pianist. He was really good, put on a really good show. Then the next day, we were in Kansas City for the Alice in Wonderland Ballet, and that's where it was held. We walked there, and inside, as you can see, really expansive place. Really, really, and enjoyed the show. There's the outside in the lobby. It was tremendous. They really put on a good show. Big troupe, and ballet was very, very interesting. And then, of course, to Kansas City. And where can you be in Kansas City without having a good Kansas City steak? And we went to a jazz bar restaurant, and there's the guy who started at 6 o'clock that evening playing jazz piano. So we were in there being served our steaks, and there's Donna enjoying her meal. It was really, really enjoyable right downtown Kansas City. Then we went on a tour of a museum, and this was called the Steamboat Arabia, where they went down into the Missouri River and pulled up all the treasures out of this steamboat that sunk back in the 1850s. The tour was fabulous. It was extremely interesting and worth seeing. And there's a replica of the paddle boat and things like that were in the museum. Okay, so then we went on to Branson, and there we went on another paddle boat tour, and there's Donna getting some more information from the guy, and we were out on the river. Really, really interesting. Very, very, very nice. And there was of course, there's entertainment on everything, and the paddle boat tour down the river was really good. And there's Donna getting ready for our dinner that was served. Really fabulous. Then we went, of course, to different shows. We were fortunate enough that the Oak Ridge Boys were actually there, so we had tickets to their show. And we went to quite a few different shows, and Doug Gabriel, different theaters we went to. This was actually at 10 o'clock in the morning one day when we saw these different shows. High energy, they really keep it going and keeping you clapping and happy and smiling and laughing. So these are pictures of some of the different theaters inside and some of the different shows. That's Doug Gabriel with his son, who was really funny but extremely talented. Then we went to Dallas, and here's my class. And everybody got together for a group picture, and we had a really good time there meeting everyone. We went to a Mexican restaurant, and I actually had a good meal there. Thanks to Jen, she told me what to order. And then we actually went to South Fork Ranch, and we had catered lunch there, and we got all kinds of information about Dallas, the Dallas show that was on years ago. And one of the highlights for me and Father Jim there was we actually went horseback riding on South Fork. So who can say they went horseback riding on South Fork? That was fun. Had a really, really fun time there. That was one of the highlights of the trip. Of course, the Mass was said by 4 of my former classmates. That was really neat. That was on Sunday afternoon. And then we went to see the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Tour was over 2.5 hours long. There's the cheerleaders' locker room. We got to go to both locker rooms, and there's Donna in the Cowboys locker room. And we got, like I say, the guy took 2.5 hours. We probably walked around the entire place. And then we went across the street to the Texas Ranger Stadium, and we went on a tour there. That was about an hour and 15 minutes where we went into the dugouts and the batting cages and saw everything. Then on to New Orleans. The Balcony Guest House is where we stayed in the European side of New Orleans. And good thing, we lucked out there that I booked it there, because otherwise we would have missed the true flavor of New Orleans. We got to see a lot. We walked all over. We went down Frenchman Street, going on to Decatur, and ordered a meal there, and live music, of course, all over New Orleans down that street. And then we ended up on Canal Street for dinner one day, and the big spiral staircase, that was really fabulous. Great service. It was really, really, really good. I actually had rotisserie chicken there. That was fabulous. Best I've had ever, I think. And then we actually took a tour of the cemetery, and we went on this Cajun Encounters tour that took us over the city, and we saw all the rejuvenation of the city where it had been flooded and things like that. A lot of interesting information.
Less than an hour. But as the water cools off again, and I'm gonna tell you, the water never reaches 80 degrees back there this summer.
That was a trip out into the swampland, seeing the alligators, and we were all by ourselves on this pontoon boat with that gentleman there. A huge turtle there. We saw, so many of the alligators. They just came right up by the ship because he was throwing them the marshmallows, and they were just coming up, and we were seeing all kind of things there. It was really nice warm day, close to 90 degrees, and he actually was picking flowers for Donna along the way. And this guy was so knowledgeable because he's lived in New Orleans all his life, retired Marine, showed everything. Then on to Nashville, and there I am at the Hall of Fame Museum, and there's Donna in the same place. We enjoyed that. Took over 2 hours just walking around, seeing all kinds of things. It was really, really good. There's Donna looking at some of the displays. Worth seeing, that's for sure. Then we ended up at the Bluebird Cafe. Had to make reservations there, and you can only make them a week ahead of time. And we saw a fabulous show. There we saw these two guys, well actually three guys. You just sit there, order drinks and food, and watch. That was Gary Nicholson, fabulous blues type guitar player. He sang and talked, and there's Jim Hokie, who played every instrument under the sun. It was over 2 hours of straight music and talk. And what's better than having a beer around noon on Broadway Street walking down Nashville? And that's how we ended the trip before we came home. Best vacation ever, for sure.